Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, this is Lord Gigamesh, and I want to tell you a story about a mongrel. One day I was passing along. Hey, Berserker, back off! Who said you could touch me, mongrel? Um, where was I? Yes, I was destroying a king who said he was a king. And after destroying him, his owner, his servant, his piece of crap mongrel, came up to me with such conviction to still fight that I didn't kill him. And this is his story. So we straight up are getting like we are getting something that I never expected, and I was by far one of the biggest fans of Fate Zero, and to think that I really lost interest in it when they introduced I lost interest after Fate Stay the Night. Okay, I didn't really care for any of those characters in there as well. I mean, even the main character was like really annoying at times, so it was pretty sucky, like it just didn't feel like this Fate Zero that I knew and loved. So I already had grown a little bit of a distance from it, and then to top it off, I then learned that there's, a crap ton of there's so much about this show that I don't even know in the background that it started to blow my mind, right? And I was like, holy crap, like learning Fate Zero and Fate Stay the Night, I have learned nothing. Like I barely know anything going on in this universe of this show. So that was one thing. And then to top it all off, I then find out that there's just like a really weird all girl version of the show. Like every character that I practically love is just like a chick, So I just never thought I would get back into this. Like it just feels like it left me behind, and for whatever fans were still like ridiculously still into it and loved it, it was for them and not for me anymore. And it kind of sucked. But now that we're bringing it back to a Fate Zero character, I mean, to be fair, they could have already done that with other one of them, but I just don't know. I just was checking this thing out. I didn't even know. I saw the Japanese name for it, and I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I just clicked on it and said, hey, I want to watch it for a little bit, and that's it. And it wound up being my man, my boy from hanging out with the King of Conquerors. And he has grown so much. He grew so dang much. Not only did he grow, he then grows even more within this episode. So it's definitely it's definitely a callback for someone like me who absolutely feel like the series just disappeared on me, and I couldn't really follow it because it just wasn't for me. I couldn't give you guys a video worth talking about when I watched the new stuff. So with this episode, I learned everything about the man who followed the King of Conquerors and who actually goes to where the King of Conqueror has been buried to pretty much help its people in any type of way he can, to make sure that he feels like he's doing the most he can in the name and honor of his his hero that he summoned. Not only that, he definitely was still living with the overall uh, guilt of stealing this guy in the first place from his teacher, um, which was interesting enough that the teacher still had a servant at that time. Like he still figured out that he could get a servant still. He figured out he could still be in this overall war, the Holy War, but it just didn't. It didn't work out for him, and because it didn't work out for him, he's like, I should have been dead, and he shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? So now we're walking in his footsteps, supposedly, through the whole entire story, and he practically has become the man, the myth from the first season, and it blows my mind to see the similarities of what could pop off. I mean, we went from this guy who had very, very long winded sentences. You know, he had a lot to say in a little amount of time. To all of a sudden him becoming this one word or 2 to 3 word answer kind of guy, just like the guy who summoned Saber. You know, so there's a lot of connections to him, and I bet you he will do a lot of those things just like how that guy did that I'm talking about who had Saber. I bet he'll do those same types of tactics if need be now. Because not only did he get himself caught up with the family member of his teacher, of his mentor that he stole the King of Conquerors from, he's now practically holding his name and is the second and has to bring up this family that he practically destroyed by when they went into this war and he lost his seal or whatever he lost just over it in general. His family and stuff probably became a lot lower on the food chain, right? And because of that, the the one of the next in the family, or I believe it was her real brother, right? Um, she just wants to have compensation when it comes down to this clock tower business, this overall arcing of keeping this holy war and stuff like that going, or whatever the case may be. He needs to step up and do something for this younger girl because she's just too quote unquote young to do the clock tower like flowing like sealed thing or something that they're doing. I should have paid more attention to it. I was still goshing like a little schoolgirl once I found out what character he is, and then after when they just time skip me into the present day and he's this old man who seems like he's got everything under control, and if he doesn't have everything under control, he seems like he's about to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, he don't seem like anyone who plays around anymore, including since he's had to live with this new name and he's had to become someone completely different than he already was because now even more people need him than ever, you know? So it's amazing to see what they can do with one character. By the way, this is just one character out of Fate Zero, okay? And I'm gushing over it, man. I love this time period of Fate. And now to think that I'm going to be ushered into the new age where, I mean, sure, he's probably going to be the one we follow, maybe, or he's going to be one of the people we follow. Uh, but if the other characters and castmates don't really do it for me, it's gonna suck a little bit. But here's hoping to new characters and new overall arcing stories in this Fate that I believe this is. And I hope it does as well as, Zero or the ones that you guys enjoy, because as of right now, I'm in love. I am head over heels, man. If they can just continue to keep, this type of storytelling going, I'm not really, and this is the other thing that kind of sucks for me, is I'm not even sure what happened to Gigamesh. You know what I mean? Like, Gigamesh is my favorite character. So when they started it off with my two favorite characters fighting each other, and then with a character that I don't necessarily like care about or anything, but then they show me another character that's watching it all, and it's pretty much set in place where Fate Zero had a battle happen. I was just like, what? What? This is happening right now? So regardless, I kind of hope there is a little bit of Gigamesh in here. I mean, the last mention of Gigamesh throughout this week's episode was that after he killed the King of Conquerors, he practically conquered this place, and his name, or for some reason his name stood out to the guy who lost his rider. Yeah, he was a rider. He lost his rider, and then he comes to this place and he's like, well, it's practically Gilgamesh's now because he lost the battle, he lost the war, he lost his kingdom, he was buried here. And due to all that, it just felt it just felt like they knew what they were trying to convey. You know what I mean? Like, they were trying to just tell you that regardless of what you do or who comes and tells the stories of your tales, you still lost. So it's not, this place isn't necessarily yours, but it is where some of your things lie, right? It's Gilgamesh's. He's the one who won. He's the one who destroyed you, and it must be the hardest thing to admit that to Waver, you know, and it's just awesome to see these characters coming back. I wanted just to sum up real quick that I saw that there is why is it wrong to pick up girls in dungeons, but it's episode 0, so it's literally for people who didn't watch the first season but plan on watching the second one. Confusing, very, very confusing for me. If you don't know anything about these characters and there's a second season coming and there's already been a whole entire story as well for just the blonde girl for herself, why are you watching season 2? You've already missed 2 full-blown types of seasons already. You should probably just back away and go watch the show. That's why I don't appreciate seeing over reviews and, oh, this is what happened in the last 4 episodes that you watched of this show. Now let's explain it to you exactly how it happened and show you exactly what we did with the same animation. Nothing different. We're just going to show you it again. Like, if you aren't watching the show shouldn't have to it's like having Blue's Clues or something in anime. You know, it's like, oh, where's that letter coming from? If we say letter 3 times, it might open. Like, Jesus, are we 5 years old and we've already forgotten what the story holds? Because if you can't remember the story, then I'm pretty sure none of this like holds any gravity towards you. None of this holds any weight if you can't even remember what happened in the last couple of episodes. You know what I mean? But that might just be me, and people love to hear, you know, what they've already seen and, you know, put in episode 13.5. Yeah, I love me some episode 13.5, you know. I'm just not one of them. I could care less for it. I watch the show, I record my reaction, you know, or my review on the episode, so it's like pretty much slapping me in the face and telling me, "Hey, you didn't record. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to see it again." Like, no, I don't. So, with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. And he almost just blasted me with his ultimate special. Holy crap. But yeah, I'll definitely talk to you guys very soon. This Fate show is kind of giving me hope that I might be able to watch, you know, all the other ones that, you know, actually align with this show. Like, if there's other stuff that I missed that will help me understand where the future has been going for this whole entire place, that would be nice. But if not, I will just stick to this and enjoy it. So with all that being said, talk to you in the next one. Peace, my anime people. Peace. And this has been your messages from Lord Gilgamesh's servant, the Anime G. Subscribe now.